Okay, hello class 7 students, welcome back again. So the next topic from the chapter Wind, Storms and Cyclones is air expands on heating, which we are going to discuss in this video. So let's begin then. Air expands on heating. So first of all, I need to mention that when air is heated, then its volume will increase and it will occupy a bigger space. Okay, again I am repeating it to you that when air is heated, when air is heated, it will become hot, right? The air will become hot and then its volume will increase. Okay, the volume of the air will increase after heating and then it will occupy bigger space. So we can say that air expands on heating. So there is an activity which demonstrates this concept that air expands on heating, activity 8.5. So in this activity what you need to do, you need to take a boiling tube, stretch a balloon tightly over the neck of the tube. You can use a tape to make it tight. Okay, so here you see a boiling tube is taken, just looks like just a test tube only, and a balloon is fixed very tightly over the neck of the boiling tube. Then what you have to do, you have to take a beaker which contains hot water in it, and then this boiling tube should be inserted in this beaker. Okay, what will you observe then? What will you observe? Insert the boiling tube with the balloon in the hot water. Observe for 2 to 3 minutes for any change in the shape of the balloon. There will be some change in the shape of the balloon. Actually what happens here, you see, when the boiling tube is placed in the hot water, when this boiling tube is placed in this hot water, okay, there is air present in the boiling tube. There is air present in this boiling tube. Air is present everywhere, right? So air is also present in this boiling tube. So when this boiling tube is placed in the hot water, then this tube will get heated. Along with the tube, the air will also get heated. The air which is present inside the boiling tube will also get heated, and then it will expand and its volume then increases. Okay, so this increased volume of air will actually fill this balloon, due to which the balloon will get inflated. Okay, this balloon will get what? Inflated. Clear? Understood? So it is this expansion of air on heating which inflates the balloon when the boiling tube is placed in hot water. So this activity concludes that air expands on heating. Understood? Then take the tube out, let it cool down to the room temperature. Take some ice cold water in another beaker and place the tube with balloon in cold water for 2 to 3 minutes. Observe the change in the shape of the balloon. Next, understood this line, that what we have to do, we have to take the boiling tube out from the hot water and then we have to allow it to cool. Okay, then after some time the balloon will get deflated. You have to take ice cold water here. Okay, in another beaker you have to take ice cold water and you have to insert this boiling tube in that ice cold water. Okay, so this means what? We are cooling the tube, right? We are cooling the boiling tube. Then what will happen? The balloon will get deflated like this. The balloon will get what? Deflated. So why it happens? Why it gets deflated? It gets deflated because see, the air which is present in the boiling tube, okay, the air which is present in the boiling tube will get contract. Okay, the air present in the boiling tube and balloon, the air which is present in the boiling tube and the air which is also present in the in the balloon, now it will get contract on cooling. Okay, so due to which its volume decreases, the volume of the air decreases and the balloon gets deflated. Clear? Understood? So think and try to answer what makes the balloon inflated when the boiling tube is placed in hot water. As I already explained it to you that there is air present inside the boiling tube. Okay, so when you allow it to heat the boiling tube by placing it over the hot water, then the air will get expand on heating and it will fill up the balloon, and then the balloon will get inflated. Okay, why is the same balloon deflated when the tube is kept in cold water? Again, why? Because Now the boiling tube is allowed to cool by placing it in ice cold water, and due to which the test tube or the boiling tube will get cool and the air will get contract, which is present in the boiling tube and the balloon. The air will get contract by cooling, due to which the balloon will get deflated. Okay, so can we infer from the first observation that air expands on heating? Yes, air expands on heating. Can you now state what happens to the air in the boiling tube when it cools down? Yes, the air will get contract after cooling. Okay, and the balloon will get deflated. So from this activity we can conclude that air expands on heating. Air expands on heating, and air contracts on cooling. Clear? Understood? So the next activity is very interesting. This will make you understand more about hot air. Activity 8.6. So now in this activity, first of all, in the last activity, in activity 8.5, we have studied what? We have studied that air expands on heating and occupies more space. Now when the same air occupies more space, it becomes lighter. Okay, it becomes lighter. That means the hot air is lighter than cold air. Hot air is lighter than cold air. Okay, or in other words we can say that hot air or warm air rises up. Yes, so now we'll describe an activity to show that hot air is lighter, or say less dense than the cold air, and being lighter, hot air will rise upwards. Okay, so in this activity 8.6, you need to take 2 paper bags or empty paper cups of the same size, and then you have to hang the two bags in the inverted position on the 2 ends of a metal or wooden stick. Okay, you have to take 2 paper bags or 2 paper cups of exactly the same size, and then you have to hang the 2 paper bags in the inverted position with their open faces. As you can see from here, their faces are open. Okay, so that air could enter, air should enter. Okay, their faces are open. Clear? Yes. And then you have to tie, you can use a piece of thread in the middle of the stick, so as to tie it. Okay, here also you have to tie it. You have to tie with the help of thread in this wooden stick. Okay, so this wooden stick with the 2 paper bags tied to its 2 ends will hang like a common beam balance, and it is horizontal. Initially the wooden stick is perfectly horizontal. Okay, showing that the 2 paper bags contain an equal mass of the same air. Okay, it is equally horizontal, right? This means that the paper bags contains what? Equal amount of air. Equal amount of air is present inside the paper bags. That is why it is horizontal. That is why it is balanced. Okay. Next, tie a piece of thread in the middle of the stick. Hold the stick by the thread as in a balance. Put a burning candle below one of the bags as shown in the figure. Observe what happens. Why is the balance of the bags disturbed? Okay. See, in this figure 8.7, you have to put a burning candle below the mouth of the left side paper bag. As you can see from this figure, below the left side of the paper bag, the candle flame is put. Okay, the burning candle is put. We will see that after some time, the left side of the wooden stick goes up. It will go up, showing that it has become lighter. Okay, it has become lighter than the right side. Okay, so when a burning candle is placed below the left side paper bag here, okay, there is air above the candle flame. There is air above the candle flame, as you can see here. Okay, there is air above the candle flame which gets heated because the candle flame is right there, right? So the air above the candle flame will get heated. So the hot air, which is lighter, hot air is lighter, right? Hot air is lighter than it will rise up. It will rise up and then it will fill the paper bag. It will fill the left side paper bag. Okay. So since the left side paper bag now contains hot air, left side paper bags now contains what? Hot air, which is lighter than the cold air present in the right side paper bag. Okay. Therefore, the left side or the left end of the wooden stick becomes lighter and it will move up. Understood? Understood? So from this activity, it will give us two conclusions about the nature of hot air. What are they? That first conclusion is hot air is lighter. Hot air is what? Lighter. And second conclusion is what? Hot air rises up because it is lighter, right? So hot air will rise up. Understood this activity? So I'll read this out. So does this activity indicate that warm air rises up? As the warm air rises up, it pushes the bag above the candle. Okay. Does the disturbance of the balance suggest that the warm air is lighter than the cold air? Yes, warm air is lighter than the cold air. Okay. So can you now explain why smoke always rises up? Yes, smoke always rises up. Have you seen why it rises up? Because it is hot. It has hot air in it. Okay, so hot air is lighter than the cold air, so it will rise up. The smoke will rise up. Also, it is important to remember that on heating, the air expands and occupies more space. When the same thing occupies more space, it becomes lighter. The warm air is therefore lighter than the cold air. This is the reason, that is the reason that the smoke goes up. Okay? Smoke always rises up. Since smoke is produced, first of all, smoke is produced by what? Smoke is produced by the burning of a substance. Okay, smoke is produced by the burning of a substance. Therefore, smoke is always accompanied by hot air or warm air. Since warm air is lighter than the cold air, therefore, smoke contained in warm air always rises up. Understood? So, in nature, there are several situations. In the last paragraph, you see, in nature, there are several situations when air at a place gets heated. Okay, then it will become lighter, then it will rise up. Okay, in nature there are several situations when you will get what? Air at a place gets heated and it becomes lighter and then it will rise up. So when air at a place gets heated and rises up, then the pressure at that place is lowered or reduced. Okay, when the air will rise up, then the pressure in this region will get reduced. The pressure will get reduced in that region because the hot air rises. Okay. And the cold air from the surrounding areas, the cold air, see, suppose this is the region, here suppose hot air is there. Okay, hot air is there, then hot air will rise up and the pressure will get reduced in this region. The pressure will get reduced in this region because hot air already rose up. Okay, there is no air. Okay, there is no air in this region because the hot air is already rose up. So this region becomes empty. So there will be reduced air pressure in this region. But what about the cold air? What about the cold air which is present in the surrounding? The cold air which is present in the surrounding, what about it? The cold air from the surrounding areas are at higher pressure, which will rush in to fill this region, to fill this space vacated by the vacated by the hot rising air. Okay, initially there is hot rising air, right? Here in this region, hot air was there. This was hot air. Okay, so when hot air rises up, because you know that hot air will rise up, then this region will become empty. Okay, that means here the air pressure is reduced, completely reduced or lowered. And what about the cold air which is present in the surrounding? It will rush in to fill up this vacated region or vacated space by hot rising air. So this leads to blowing of winds. This leads to what? Blowing of winds. This is the reason why the wind blows. Okay, hot air will rise up and the cold air which is present in the surrounding will move towards the place of hot rising air, which is vacated by the hot rising air, empty space, and then the wind in this leads to what? Blowing of the winds. Okay, so I will read this out the last paragraph. In nature there are several situations where warm air rises at a place, the air pressure at that place is lowered, the cold air from the surrounding areas rushes in to fill its place. This sets up convection in air. That means wind is blown, and as you learned in chapter 4, the convection of air. Okay, so this is the same concept about convection of air. Okay, hot air rises up, cold air rushes in to fill its place. So this leads to what? Convection in air. This leads to your sea breeze, land breeze also, and this leads to blowing of winds also. Okay, so that's all we have understood about air expands on heating. Okay, and in the next video we'll discuss about wind currents are generated due to uneven heating on the earth. So the first situation under this will be uneven heating between the equator and the poles. We'll discuss this thing in the next video. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.